Hello all, this is your Nemi Rijo and today I'm here with you with another poem from the textbook of First Flight of Grade 10. Today I've chosen A Tiger in the Zoo written by Leslie Norris. Leslie Norris is a Welsh poet during the years of 1921 to 2006. And Leslie Norris is not just a poet but also a short story writing. Okay, Leslie was also a person who used to teach in a lot of institutions, especially in US. So over here you can find, as you can just look into the title of the poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. Zoo, I'm sure you can get the picture of where the tiger is present. Okay, the tiger is present, and over here actually the poet is trying to speak about the cruelty on animals and basically those animals which are kept in the cages. So we'll go line by line. And one more thing, before moving to the poem, I'm telling you the poetic device. You can throughout see the technique of imagery. Okay, when you read through the lines, you can get those pictures in your mind. That is a technique which is called imagery. So now we'll go line by line. He stalks in his vivid stripes. He stalks means basically he is walking, he is moving in his vivid stripes. You've seen a tiger. The first thing what we notice is the stripes in the body. Yes, so he is walking and those stripes are noticeable. Okay, so he is walking in the limited space and it's the zoo and inside the cage. So we know how would it be, the small space, in that small area he's just walking. Okay, very slowly he's walking. The few steps of his cage, as I told you, the space is limited. As I told you, the space is limited. In that space he's just moving forward. On pads of velvet quiet, in his quiet rage. On pads of velvet quiet. Now you've seen the paws of the tiger, right? It's so soft, and with that paws, and it's so soft, that's why they've used the word the pad. As it's so soft, with that it's just moving forward. So it's silently moving their feet. In his quiet rage, see, rage means basically, you know, the word rage means basically it's anger. Okay, why do you think the poet has used the word rage, the quiet rage? The reason of quiet rage is because he has kept it inside. He is not showing off his anger. As he's caged, he's not showing it off. It's deep within. He cannot express it. There's no point of expressing. He's inside the cage. So I hope the first 4 lines are clear. He is walking and those vivid stripes are noticeable, and he's walking very slowly because it's a very small area. And then we also spoke about the paws, which is very soft. Okay, and he's not angry. He is just subsided that anger. That's why it's quiet rage, anger. Moving on to the second stanza. He should be lurking in shadow. That over here, they're speaking about the contrast. Okay, I've written over here, it's actually the contrast, the tiger in the zoo and the tiger in the natural habitat. Natural habitat means forest. So where in the first stanza is speaking about tiger in the zoo who is caged, and this tiger where you can see the tiger it's inside the cage, just moving, making few steps. Now with the second stanza, the poet is trying to bring it to captivate your attention towards the tiger in the natural habitat. What will the tiger be doing in the habitat? So what he'll be doing, we'll look into it. He should be lurking in shadow. Okay, over there actually what happened, you know that cage is not a proper place for the tiger. Where is the proper place? It's the forest. So what happened, usually what will the tiger do? Tiger will be moving, okay, in the shadow, maybe looking at the shadow or something. The tiger will be basically moving, lurking in the shadow. Sliding through long grass. You know what does this tiger do? Tiger sits under the bushes and long grass, and when it sees its prey, it will jump over it. So exactly like that, it might be sliding, moving through the long grass near the water hole. Why it's resting near the water hole? Because they know their prey, the deer, would obviously come to the water area to sip the water. So the tiger knows all this information. Who taught that information? We don't know, but still the tiger knows everything. Maybe the way it's observing things. So tiger is actually literally hiding near the grass, near the water hole. So all these things are happening in the forest. So if this tiger who's in the cage, if the tiger was in the forest, he would be sliding in the long grass, and what would he be doing? He'll be just hiding there, waiting for the prey or looking for the prey. It's P-R-E-Y, prey. Okay, who's about to die. Where the plump deer pass. Plump means what? The fat. Okay, literally the fat deer would pass. The tiger know this particular deer would pass. Okay, so at time when it's passing, it can literally fall on it. So plump deer means, plump means very fat deer would pass. So if it pass, the tiger would kill them. Okay, so now the first two stanza, I hope it is clear. In the first stanza, we are speaking about the tiger in the zoo. In the second stanza, we are speaking about the tiger who's in the forest. Okay, because the tiger is literally ready to hunt the deer. Okay, now we'll move on to the third stanza. He should be snarling around the houses. He should be snarling means basically he should be snarling is actually a sound, onomatopoeia. So he should be actually, if this particular tiger was in the forest, what will be he doing? Initially in second paragraph we said he'll be moving around the shadow, maybe looking in the shadow, and then what happened, he'll be sliding to the grass, and then be looking for the plump deer, fat deer. The third stanza he said if he is there in the forest, he should be snarling. Snarling means basically making all those kind of sound. Okay, he should be snarling around the houses. At the jungle's edge. Why they mention about the jungle's edge means the edge. For example, this is a jungle and this is a village. So this edge, so he'll be moving about in the edge of the jungle, which is next place there, the village. At the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs. Baring means exposing, or where over here he has got. What has he got? He's got his white fangs. White fangs basically means the teeth. White fangs and his claws. Claws means basically, you know, the claws. Okay, those kind of sharp things. Okay, the nails kind of thing. So he is bearing. Okay, he is bearing all these kind. Over here, what is happening? He's trying to terrorize the people in the village, showing his teeth and the fangs and the claws, terrorizing the village. Okay, so here in the third stanza, he's speaking that he's producing all these kind of sounds, and then he's in the edge, the jungle's edge, where they meet, between the jungle versus the village there, and then he's bearing these white fangs for the teeth and the claws, and he's terrorizing the village people he's literally terrorizing. Okay, that's in the third stanza. Now if we move on to the next stanza, he said but. Okay, there's a deep silence over there. But where's the tiger now? The tiger, he's locked in a concrete cell. You know what's a concrete, right? Basically it's a mixture of the cement, sand and stone. Okay, and his strength is behind the bars. Okay, his current situation is actually a very pathetic situation. Right now he's behind the bars, behind the concrete bars, stalking the length of his courage. And what happened? What is he doing? He's stalking is basically moving or walking. He's walking behind the length of his cage. We know the cage is very small. Okay, so the cage is there and he's just moving. Okay, he's just moving up hither and thither and ignoring the visitors. Obviously, as it's a zoo, you can see a lot of visitors coming in, and he's just ignoring the visitors very casually. Okay, he's just ignoring the visitors and he's stalking in the length of his cage. You know, in the very first paragraph we mentioned about the rage. Okay, because of that anger, he's just moving up and down the cage, ignoring the visitors very carelessly. He's not interested. Okay, he's not interested to see the visitors, nothing of that sort. He's not interested. He's just moving hither and thither. So, and obviously what else can he do? He cannot come out of the cage, so nothing else. This is the third stanza. No, that sympathetic situation comes out of everybody's mind. So stalking, very clearly, it's the walking basically speaks about his rage in his mind. Okay, and then he cannot obviously come out. Okay, moving on to the last stanza, which is a very, very important stanza. He hears the last voice at night. Obviously, maybe in the zoo, their area, the last voice he is able to hear. Why he's hearing the last voice? Maybe because he's not able to sleep properly, thinking about something else, and he's got the sleepless nights. The patrolling cars, he's listening to the patrolling cars. You know what are the patrolling cars, right? Because patrolling cars are just like the police vehicles, where the people, maybe in the zoo, these people are taking the patrolling cars and maybe just to check if all the animals are inside the cage. So that's the last sound heard by the tiger in the zoo at late night. Okay, and what does he do? And he stares, and he stares with his brilliant eyes. Brilliant eyes here, actually not speaking about the brilliancy or intelligence, but it's speaking about the shining eyes. Okay, the shining, the twinkling eyes, and he's staring with that twinkling eyes. Where is he staring? He's staring at the brilliant stars. Again, the shining stars. Now, why do you think that he is actually looking at the stars? Because it stars right above the head, and again shows his freedom. He loves freedom. He wants the freedom. Animals are not supposed to be kept in the cage. It should be left out. It should be in the jungle. And over here, we're putting it in the cage. So now, right now, he's staring right above his head. Maybe through those bars, he's just looking forward. And he's looking at those wonderful, with his eyes, his shining eyes. Where is he looking? He's admiring the beautiful stars and thinking about the most awaited freedom. Okay, so this is actually about the poem where he speaks about, basically if someone asks me what is the theme, it can be about the cruelty of animals. It's the cruelty of animals basically, which especially kept in the cage. You know, when the different time, when Indira Gandhi and all came into the being, initially there was the English people, the Britishers used to come just to hunt the tigers. But now when Indira Gandhi and great personalities, they brought in a lot of laws. Okay, the great leaders, salute to all those leaders. So they brought in all those rules, and now the poaching is being completely taken out from our country. But still we know hidden they are happening. So let's at least think about what we can do as being the human beings. At least if you know why these, initially we had this circus and all, and now they brought in telling that we are not supposed to harm any animals. So like that, let many rules come in. Why you want? Let the animals be live. We are there in the proper countryside and proper village or wherever we are, urban cities. Let them be in the jungle. That's their cage. That's their life. That's where they are supposed to belong. Where are you supposed to belong? The country. Let them belong in their jungle. Why do you want to respond? So that's about the chapter, The Tiger in the Zoo. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll move on to the poetic devices and the question answers now. Okay, now we'll move on to the poetic devices of the poem. I've been repeating a lot of poetic devices. You might be knowing it, so we'll just go to the poetic device of this poem. Okay, the first one is a rhyme scheme. I remember in the previous class I taught you how to find out the rhyme scheme of the poem looking into the first stanza. If you look in the first stanza, I told you we'll be looking into the last words of each line. That's how you do it. Okay, for example, if you look in the first stanza, the last words are stripes. Okay, that's the first stanza, first line, last word. Then cage, quiet, rage. Okay, if you look into this particular thing, you can find stripes. Nothing is matching, so written here A. Okay, stripes cannot be matched with anything else. Now moving on to next one, cage. Cage is matching with rage, so again a B for this. So with quite nothing is there, so it's C. So rhyme scheme would be A, B, C, B. This is the rhyme scheme of the poem. Throughout you can find this. Now next one is personification. When some human attribute is given to the animals, it's called personification. So over here, tiger, throughout you can see the poet is using the word he. A lot of qualities have been, the rage and all those qualities have been given to tiger, he. That very clearly says it's personification. Next one is metaphor. Okay, metaphor we spoke about, it's regarding the comparison of two things. Okay, so basically which have no similarity. Over here, the tiger's paws has been compared to be velvet material, you know, of the dress. It's very soft. Next one is enjambment. Enjambment, I told you, the poet, they're continuing the lines and then it's only later on they put the full stop. Over here you can find in those in the poem you can find the enjambment where the lines are continuing for more than 2 consecutive without any punctuation. In the second paragraph, second stanza, second line. Sliding through long grass, no punctuation. Near the waterhole, no punctuation. Then where plum deer pass, full stop. So after continuous line without punctuation is called the technique of enjambment, which Leslie Norris has used in the poetry. Next one is imagery. Throughout the poem you can find the poet has used the technique of imagery. So whenever each line when you read, you can get that image in your mind. That's called an imagery. So here he is trying to use the visual imagery, an image you're getting in the mind. Now alliteration. I told you alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sound. Most of you make a mistake by telling that okay, he, hers, whatever it is, just looking okay, H, H, A, B, B. No, it's depending upon the sound word. So over here, her. So alliteration. He hears, okay, her sound is being repeated. Now assonance. Assonance, same thing, repetition of the vowel sound. Over here, this alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sounds, and assonance is actually the vowel sounds, okay, in between. With, his, E sound. The sound E is repeated, and that's why it's called assonance. So these are the poetic devices of the poem. I hope it's clear for you. If somebody asks important questions in the chapter, you can say the important questions in Tiger and the Zoo, they might ask you the theme. Obviously they might ask you the theme, and then maybe they might ask like, what do you think, why do you think the poet has used technique of repetition? Okay, you can see there are a few words where the poet has used like rage, etc. So those words again shows just to show the impact of the thing. And then maybe the questions can be regarding the the words, the synonyms they can ask, or they can say ask for a value-based question regarding the cruelty of people. Okay, so these can be the poetry device and important questions of Tiger in the Zoo. I hope your doubts are clear. Keep this in mind. Tiger in the Zoo, the poet is trying to just compare two things. The two things actually, the tiger in the zoo as well as the tiger in the natural habitat. Okay, so I hope you it was quite informative for you, the Tiger in the Zoo. Please post your comments, like and share with your friends so that it will reach to those students who literally need the help of learning. Okay, so let's make the education a powerful weapon. See you again in the next video. Till then, Nimi Rujo signing off. Bye.